Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hug Nation's Love Morning. I have had some coffee this morning, so I am enjoying a little chemically boosted energy and mood. And I am grateful to be here to be sharing gratitude and intention with you. So if you're here watching this recording or you're here live on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or anywhere that you can get to me, get to us, thank you for connecting to this vibration. If you can, say hello, leave a little comment so that we know you're here, so you can let other people know we're here, so that we're not alone in this experience of connection. Good morning, Gerbot. Today we start with gratitude. We start with a song and thoughts. And if you think we've got a little to share, actually we've got a lots. Because gratitude is everywhere. It's in our hearts and in our lives. And if you get too much gratitude, you will not break out with hives. It's love morning. It's the Hug Nation time. It's love morning. Even if I'm off tune, I should still rhyme. Okay, good morning. I am feeling grateful for this practice and for this daily exercise of stepping out of whatever tendency to be in a rut of isolation and to be pushed into this place of connection. So thank you, Juan. Thank you, Gerbot. Thank you for everyone who might stop in or stop by to get a little social connection, a little feeling of interconnectedness to start or continue this day. I this morning woke up early to do an interview for an online magazine that said, "Hey, we'd love to feature you." And it's a magazine. I think they feature anybody, and they basically just send you a form and you fill out questions, and then they put it online, and then they say, "Hey, here's your article. Now go promote it." To get views. But I was like, you know what? What would it hurt to put some good answers and some. There's a few things that there are not written about online that I've done that I would like to have in an article that then potentially could be mentioned in Wikipedia or other places. So now that I think about it, maybe I should have done it maybe a little differently. But anyway, I spent the time this morning kind of writing some answers and also using ChatGPT and saying, "Hey, can you see if I've already written about this anywhere and help me craft an answer?" And one of the answers I said, "Can you help me talk about a time when I pivoted?" And it wrote this answer that said, "For years, Hug Nation was my pulpit where I would do monologues. And then I realized that what we really needed was connection and community. And so now we do love mornings and gratitude circles where everyone is invited to share." And this pivot from monologue teacher to student instead into creating a container where everyone feels they belong and we facilitate one another's growth. That was kind of like how I landed using the ideas from ChatGPT and my own thoughts. And I was like, I like that. I like that as I kind of feel like that is where I'm at now. So thanks for being a part of that. I am grateful for my partner, Lisa. So grateful. So grateful. I so enjoy her conversations with her and her just so deep appreciation and acceptance of me that helps me to grow. What are you grateful for? I would love to hear what you are grateful for. I'm grateful for the process of that. Right before here, I was online here. I was doing the interview questions, and also I was it asked for like up to 8 photos that you think you want to use in the article. And so that's so hard for me. First of all, I'm like, so many of my pictures have me pink haired, and I'm like, do I include pictures of the way I look now or the way I look then? And so I kind of did a collection of both. And, as I'm looking through my photos, I realized, oh my gosh, there's so many things I did not mention in the questions. So do I include a picture? Like, I didn't talk about Stay Spark, so should I include a picture of the podcast? And like, oh, I didn't talk about Hug Monster. Should I include me with my puppet? It was I don't know. It was fun. It was just fun to try to figure out if I could pick 8 pictures to give a snapshot of what I do in the world and who I am. That was a lot. Gearbot says, "Whoa, great observation, ChatGPT." Yeah, I saw a video yesterday. I was doing a number of things that I was reading yesterday and looking at were talking about AI integration, and some of it, honestly, kind of it just regulates me as I think about the future and how much I want to be. Like, I'm not really looking forward to a fully integrated AI life. Now, granted, I enjoy playing with AI art, but anyway, so the article or the video that really made me start thinking a little bit differently, it was saying that too many people think of ChatGPT and they use it like Google. And I realized, oh, I do that a lot. Like, I'm trying to find an answer to a question, so I ask it to find the answer to the question. And it can do that based on doing research. But what I don't do often enough is ask it to do research and then like find a conclusion or find connections or see what's missing. And the example the guy gave in this talk goes, I gave a 45-minute voice message to ChatGPT and told it all about my life. And then I asked it to find what are the places that I'm my blind spots. What are the things in my life that were the room for improvement that I'm not aware of? And I was like, whoa. And so I've been trying to practice a little bit more of thinking of ChatGPT more like a smart person that can look at things and then give observations. The other thing that kind of changed my thought is I had a long talk with a friend over the weekend who was going through a breakup and found just incredibly helpful insights by having ChatGPT, like feeding it transcripts of videos from like teachers and lecturers about ideas like about attachment theory, and then inputting diary entries, journal entries that he was writing about what he's been going through and his experience with it in his relationship and the breakup, and then said, can you look through my writings and see what you're noticing, what are observations about patterns? And it really found some things that he found incredibly helpful. And then it said, would you like me to create a visual aid? And it made this like diagram of like, here are ways that your partner shows up that become problematic. Here are ways that you show up that become problematic. Here, it was like, it was incredible. So I'm trying to just change the way I think about the tools so that because I think that's one of the hardest things is, and that's what in this video yesterday where the guy was saying, like, what makes the tools powerful is how you can think about using them. So it's not, AI is not going to be the great equalizer that makes everybody on the same level, because if you are clever, you are going to be able to use AI to be more clever. Gearbot says, I am so grateful for many digital assistants that can answer almost anything I ask them. They help me make art, memes, Discord emoji, scripts for my job. I love living the future. I've been playing with this site that my friend Dimitri, his company, it's called, what's it called? Mind Studio. And so I have like a browser plugin now, and I'm using some of their like AI agents. And like one of the things that you can do is just like go to find a YouTube video and say, can you summarize this video? And like, there's times I don't want to watch a 60-minute video, but I wouldn't mind scanning, the highlights of it. Good morning, Michael. Michael says, gratitude for good dreams, a new haircut, sweet friends, and nice time in nature. Oh, beautiful to hear. I was thinking about you yesterday. Maybe we can touch base today. Let's see how our days go. Do you remember any of your dreams? Not that it's always a good idea to share them. I had a dream yesterday that I remembered that I went to Burning Man. I was at Burning Man, and because of my non-pink hair and my white beard, nobody recognized me. And I was kind of irked. I was like, man, I'm used to people showing me like respect, and I kind of am not experiencing that, and I don't like it, And then there was I actually, one guy who did remember me. He's like, oh yeah. Can I interview for this project? And he was so non-enthused by my answers. And there was one little clip that he wanted to use for my interview. So I'm remembering the interview that I did in the dream, and I'm remembering this clip from the interview that was good. And I was saying that, now that I have experienced Burning Man sober, and also with intoxication, I can highly suggest both. However, I would suggest doing sober first and then intoxicated, in the same way that you might want to have like a light, Swedish massage first and then deep tissue after. You might want to have the intense experience after the lighter experience. Grabat says, that's a great prompt. What I cannot see about myself. That hit Reddit a couple months ago, and it hilariously turned into a roast me ChatGPT thread. It did a pretty damn good job. The thing that I have realized, because I kind of asked like, hey, what do you know about me? And it gave me a super generic answer. And I realized the way that I've been using ChatGPT, it has not given much insight into me and who I am. So I would have to give it a bunch of information about myself, or say, hey, can you, here, get the transcripts from these, 10 YouTube videos, and then help me understand what are places that I'm missing things, or something like that. Yeah. Interesting times. But the other thing I've been doing is I've been asking ChatGPT to say, hey, I want to try, like, I've got all this content on YouTube, and is it possible to index it, or can you? And so it's been helpful. It actually helped me find like a workflow that I have not built yet, but might be really helpful for indexing and being able to utilize old YouTube videos of mine as a resource to find quotes for things. And Michael said that in my dream, I was in a dream and we were recording a new album. I was playing percussion, like bongos and triangle and maracas and stuff. Nice. Very cool. Anyone else want to share any gratitude before we head out into the day and try to be ambassadors of love? Lisa sent me this really wonderful email forward, and it was talking about, it was nailed me into where my headspace has been. And it's kind of the cautioning about the catastrophizing of the future, and how our minds, because, and I mean, I know these things because evolutionary wise, we are wired to imagine negative, disastrous futures as a way to survive. And so it's important to recognize the tendency to do that, and then practice sitting more in the unknowing, like who we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, and really trying to focus on returning. And I was getting caught up over the last week, and I continue to kind of struggle with deep concerns about the future. And so I'm really having to, in addition to a gratitude practice, which it mentioned in this newsletter too, like, look, keep refocusing on what's good, but also keep reminding yourself that you don't know. And so be cautious of suffering in the present moment because of an imagined future, which is so true. It's like the Julius Caesar quote from Shakespeare, a coward dies 1,000 deaths and a hero dies just once. Meaning the coward, the worrier, every time they worry about the future, they suffer, they die a little. But the hero, who can go through the world dealing with the present moment challenges, when the dragon comes and they fall before that monster, that's just a single experience of suffering instead of worrying about it over and over and over and over and over again. Pierre says, grateful for you and your constant quest for becoming better. Also grateful my holiday starts right meow. Thank you, Pierre. Grateful for you, and grateful for, if you missed a minute ago, ChatGPT helped me kind of discover a pivot in my path of shifting from kind of pulpit-based sermons into community-based collective growth. And so thank you for being a part of that. Oh, it also had, there was one answer that was great. It talked about, like, what makes me stand out is that I don't assume to have any answers. I celebrate the weird in us. And maybe I'll post hopefully the article will go live soon, and then I can just share that. Eric says, I'm grateful for my ability to give humor and make people laugh. Me too. Laughter and humor to me is an important part of my spiritual path. Like, this experience of being conscious in this world is hilarious. And if you don't incorporate humor and laughter, it's like a pressure, release. Like, you can't take it too seriously. It's too much. Good morning, Chris. Chris says, grateful for this gorgeous spring weather, renewal at its finest. Yes. Yeah, it's downright warm in San Diego. Like, I was like, is it too early to use the AC? Yikes. But it's so nice to see the plants and the trees and the bulbs blooming. Like, amaryllis are finally popping. So awesome. Thanks, Chris. Good morning, Carolyn. Carolyn says, so thankful to be dog sitting my beloved foster dog that got adopted. Oh, how nice to reconnect. Thanks for sharing. Pierre says, also very grateful for digital assistants. Assistants, not assistance, although the assistants give assistance. Pierre says, I got my AI to co-create some laser art materials with me last night. We made a laser Buddha. Whoa. It just got to feed it good content. I saw in its newsletter that I was reading, I haven't done this yet, but it was showing how you can make a sketch, give it to ChatGPT and say, can you make an image that based on the sketch? And the examples they show were really good. Like, can you make a YouTube thumbnail and kind of like this? And maybe I'll do some practicing and playing with it today. The other thing that the counter push of AI that I had realization, or someone kind of presented to me this last week, is I've been making a lot of videos recently with AI music and AI, and some of the response, I've not had the enthusiasm response that like people have not been as excited by it as I seem to be after making it. And someone was like, there's still something a little creepy to me about like when you take a picture and you make it animate, like it kind of feels creepy to me. And I can totally see how even as you're appreciating the work that I've done, it doesn't hit you in the heart and inspiration. And because of some of the state of AI now, it's got its flavor of non-authenticity to it. So I totally get that. Chris says, I was thinking about God, and when I came in here, the first word was sermon. I'm grateful for that. I celebrate the weird too. Don't call me names. Kurbot says, I celebrate the weird in us. Amen. Chris made an Irish Buddha. Don says, hugs from sunny Utah. Hello to you in Utah. Hello, Don. Chris says, AI is void of frequency. And I think that, it'll be interesting in a couple of years when it won't be detectable in the same way that like the AI video now versus, a year ago is so much better. And I can imagine in 2 years when that silly video that I made, with Asher, clearly you can tell which parts are AI, but imagine if you couldn't. And that's part of what makes me like, I'm not ready for a world where integration with AI and modification of our biology is just like standardized and it's part of daily life. But I'll go back to that unknowing. Who knows what the future will hold? And I will continue to focus on the joys of the present moment, like this one, sharing this moment with you right now in this awareness of being alive and conscious in a incredibly fertile world. Is it a fertile world that we are protecting as with the awareness of how miraculous it is? No. It's like I saw this meme of like, if we have the technology to terraform Mars and make it into a fertile Earth, can we just make Earth into a fertile Earth? Seems like a lot easier path. Good morning, Eric. Oh, wait, you already said Eric. You said you shared earlier, didn't you? Yes. Well, yes, that's right. Well, good morning again, Eric. That was me being funny because you mentioned humor earlier, right? Okay. Well, let's share a hug and then head out into our days as love ambassadors and try to of the opportunity to be love ambassadors, and that world where there's so many places that could use help, rather than be overwhelmed by that, let's recognize that we can make the world a little bit better by the way we take each step, by the attitude that we bring into our day, by the way that we have our interactions with our neighbors and the cashiers and our partners and our family and our business associates. That if we can just radiate at a little bit more positivity and kindness, that will have effects on the world. And when we have the opportunity to do something grandiose and fantastic, then we will already be in that headspace of I will take on this opportunity with that same attitude of kindness and connection. Juan is grateful for great weather. Woohoo! Isn't this the best time of the year, springtime? Well, wherever you are, let's give ourselves a big old squeeze, a big old hug, feel the body that we're in, appreciating all that's working wonderfully and all that's currently healing, all the incredible immune system protection that's happening at every moment. And let's appreciate one another and all those that have shared gratitude, knowing there's humans all around this world that are just like us, open-hearted, like-minded, and that the more that we know that one another's out there, the stronger, the more grounded, the more impactful we can be in the world, knowing that we're not alone. So let's feel connected to one another as we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for being here. Whether watching this recording or here live, thanks for being here for our Love Morning on Hug Nation. I love you. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. And not every day am I in this same level of energy. If you've been following along last week, I've definitely had some struggle days. So I'm going to try to appreciate today's extra jolt of goodness and not take it for granted.